Oh, okay. So we're starting part 3 for April the 20th, Monday, sorry. And we're still in Unit 7, shopping. Don't forget that if you have a question about the work or you need an explanation, you can email me at angelamonroe1@gmail.com, or you can find me on WhatsApp. I think the whole class is still on there. So you can just message me. You don't have to send it to the whole class. So the first thing we want to do today is let's look at furniture. And let's talk about some other appliances. Okay, so what are examples of furniture? We've talked about a sofa, chairs, we haven't really talked about a bed very much, but a bed would be a type of furniture. What about a washing machine? That would go here under appliances. Or some people just call it washer, right? What about a stove? That would also go here under the appliances. What about, let's scoot this up a little bit. And what about a bookcase, like where you put your books or shelving? That would go here. Right? Okay, so what's another kind of appliance? A refrigerator, right? Okay, what about your dining room table? Where would that would be up here. And your chairs too. Let me get my picture kind of out of the way. And what about your dryer, where you put your clothes to dry them after they've been washed, right? What about a chest of drawers, like you have in your bedroom to put your clothing in? That would be under furniture. So would the lamps that we saw in the pictures. Remember, we looked at a desk lamp and a floor lamp and all of that. And we talked about pianos. They are a musical instrument, but since they're so big, they can also be considered a piece of furniture. What about, we didn't talk about, what about a toaster? That would go here. And so would the toaster oven. What if you had a waffle maker? That would also go here. And so would your coffee maker. And those big freezers that stand alone. Not the one that goes with your refrigerator, but a separate freezer. Okay, so these are examples of some furniture and some appliances again. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video and look on page 86 of your book. Let me make this big real quick. Right here. And do the QR code and review this grammar chart. And then we'll come back and talk about it, okay? So go ahead and pause your video and then come back. Okay, so we had in part one, we talked a little bit about comparing two things, and we watched that brief video where the couple was comparing photos. So let's look on page 86, and there's a picture. We're going to look right here at the two, right here, these two sofas, and we're going to talk about how are they the same. How are those two sofas the same? Well, one, they're both sofas and something to sit on, but how are they different? One is big, right, longer. One is shorter. Price-wise, one is $1,000 and one is $6.99, so it's cheaper. One, it looks white or tan, I guess, and then one is blue, so they're different colors. So they're similar in that they function to sit on, and they're both sofas, and they're different in price, color, size. Okay? So when we talk about things being different, if it's small, like the one sofa, the brown one is bigger, and the blue sofa is smaller. We put ER at the end of the adjective, okay? Because it talks about up there in your grammar chart, if something is cheaper, bigger, taller, and wider, we add ER if we're talking about those things. So if the adjective has more than two syllables, we're going to say we wouldn't say more comfortabler. We say more comfortable. We wouldn't say expensiver. We say more expensive. And we use the more in front of the adjective when it's more than two syllables. So, and for one, your ones that end in Y, like heavy, H-E-A-V-Y, we always take that Y and make it an I and add ER. Just like when we were doing the verbs and we made, we did that similar. So the word heavy, if something is heavier, we're going to say, see, we took out the Y here and made it an I, and then we added the ER. Okay? So the next thing I would like for you to do is there's a conversation at the bottom of the page. We're going to listen to track 11, and then we're going to fill that in and check it together. And so go ahead, and I will go ahead and scan it, and we'll listen to it together.
Page 86, Exercise 2A, Track 11. 1.
Which chair is heavier?
The orange chair is heavier.
Okay, so see how they did? In number 1, which chair is heavier? Okay, because it gives you the adjective heavy, but we know to change it to heavier, and we took the Y and made it an I and added ER. And then number 2, well, the second part of that, the orange chair is heavier because it looks like it weighs more, right? The purple chair looks like it's light and plastic. Okay, let's go to number 2.
2.
Which refrigerator is more expensive?
The large refrigerator is more expensive. 3.
Which table?
Okay, so your answer for number 2 should be the first. Should be what? Sorry, guys. Okay. So on the first one, we're just going to write refrigerator. Oh, more expensive, sorry. That's all we have to write for that part. And then the second part is the large refrigerator. Is more expensive. So that's your answer to number 2.
Bigger.
The square table is bigger.
Okay. So in number 3, we're going to, in the first blank, we're going to write bigger. And in the and in the second blank, we're going to write the whole sentence. The square table is bigger. Okay? Let's go to number 4.
4.
Which stove is better?
The black stove is better.
Okay, so in the first blank, to make the sentence, which stove is better, and then we're going to say the black stove is better. Okay, number 5.
5.
Which lamp is taller?
The floor lamp is taller.
Okay, the floor lamp is taller, right? Okay, so you should have taller, and then the floor lamp is taller. Let's do the last one.
6.
Which sofa is more comfortable?
The green striped sofa is more comfortable.
Okay. If you need to, you can rewind it and re-listen if it was if you need more help. But so go ahead and correct your work, and then you can pause the video and practice asking the questions and answering. If you don't have someone to practice with, just go ahead and read them aloud and practice for fluency. So we just did a listening exercise, and now you can do a reading and speaking of that exercise, okay? So do that and then come back and you can restart your video. Okay, so now we're going to get some more practice with the comparatives. So let's look at this number 1. It's blank than mine. Smaller or more small, or either. Well, small is 1 syllable, so all we have to do is add the ER. So that's going to be our answer. Yours is blank than mine. Bigger, bigger, or more big. Well, big is one syllable, so we're just going to add ER. But to do that for big, you're going to have to add a G. So it's going to be BIGGER. So it is going to be spelled a little different. And number 3, it's blank than you think. commoner or more common, or either could be used. Actually, this one's going to be either. But I would say better English would say more common. Okay? It costs blank than I thought. Less, fewer, or either. Well, we're going to say less because it's an amount of money. Fewer would be in numbers of things, like I have fewer apples than you do. So we're going to use less when it's talking about money this time. Number 5, he's blank than he looks. Cleverer or more clever, or either. Actually, either could be used, but I would say more clever is better English than cleverer. The road is blank than the motorway. Narrower or more narrow. Once again, we can use either, but I would always say more narrow would be better English. And number 7, she talks blank than I do. Quicker or more quickly? Well, it's either, but once again, I would use the more quickly. It's blank than it looks. Badder, worse, or badder. We're going to say worse. Badder is not even a word. Number 9, it's blank than it was. Better, better, or gooder. We're going to go with better, but this time it's spelled with 2 T's and an ER at the end. It was blank than I thought it would be. Quicker or more quick, or either could be used. We're going with quicker because it's 1 syllable, so we're only adding ER. I'd like some blank information about your courses. Further, that means more. Farther means distance. Like, I live farther from the mall than you. Farther. Okay? So let's see our grade. We got 100, so that's really great. So let's go back to our regular work page. Okay, let's just talk about some questions and conversation. Where do you usually see a kitchen table? Where do you usually see a kitchen table? Remember that when we say where, we're talking about place, right? So where do we see a kitchen table? In the kitchen, right? So your kitchen table is going to be in your kitchen. Where would your dining room table be? In your dining room. So do you do your homework at the dining table? No, I eat at the dining table. Or it could be, yes, I do my homework at the dining table, because sometimes we don't have another office or place to do our work, right? Do you work at the kitchen table? Yes. Lots of times we'll eat there if it's a small meal, or if your kitchen is small, you may even do your food prep there. So if you have a kitchen table, chances are you're doing some kind of work there. Homework, schoolwork, maybe you do your bills there, or maybe you just do your meal prep there. Okay, and don't forget that where refers to the place that something is. Okay, so we're done with part 3 for today. What I would like for you to do is homework. Before you start Wednesday's videos, I want you to do homework pages 80 and 81 in your in the workbook. And then we will obviously look over them and correct them together on Wednesdays, on the 20 videos for the 23rd. Also, don't forget to be putting your comments in the comment section of the video so you can get credit for having attended class. And I hope everybody is being safe and staying well. And I will see you on Wednesday.